Have you ever looked in the mirror during a meditation or after crying and thought, wait, is that what I really look like when I'm just being me? Yeah, let's talk about that.
Hey, this is Francisca and this is my mid-crisis life. And today is the second segment of Crisis Confessionals. And today, what did I want to talk about? So, I've been trying to meditate more regularly recently, which is weird for me because I find it really difficult to do things that are just kind of like monotonous and kind of the same thing over and over and over again. I find it really difficult to kind of get into a routine. I just like really to have a lot of change. I like things to always be changing, for me to be changing. And I guess really like, it's really what I'm about. I guess like the idea of like changing and evolution. And I guess change also is like innovation, right? It's like creativity. It's something new, something different, something greater or augmented from what it was previously. Um, but I guess that's like a different subject. That's a video for another day. So I digress. Point being, I've started trying to meditate more regularly recently. And I don't know, but I hope that anybody who's watching this, the people that do watch this, are people that meditate regularly or irregularly, whatever, right? But one of the things that I do when I'm meditating is I often coach myself into kind of relaxing everything down while I'm meditating. So I will relax absolutely everything. So I'll be like relaxing my forehead and all the muscles that are in my forehead. I will relax my eyes, my eyeballs, my eye sockets. I'll relax like my nose and my nostrils and my nose cavities and my mouth and my cheeks and my jawbone and the muscles in my neck and everything. Like this is the process that I go through and I start relaxing everything down. And what I've found the more and more that I've been doing that, and this isn't just a recent thing, but I guess I'm noticing it more now because I'm doing it more regularly. But what I notice basically when I'm relaxing everything down is that I find that when my body starts to relax down, it's like all those chemicals that have laid dormant in my body, either for hours, for days, for weeks, for months, for years, even, that it's kind of like those chemicals are kind of allowed to flow freely through my body just through relaxing the muscles and absolutely everything else, all of the cells, all the matter in my being from it being relaxed. And I kind of think about like, chemicals that we have in our body, right? If you think about, for example, anytime that we're happy or anytime that we're sad, these are different chemicals, right, that are being released in our body. So like oxytocin is your love chemical and serotonin is your happy chemical and adrenaline or cortisol, these are like your fight or flight reactive, like adrenaline based, do something needs to happen now kind of chemicals. And I think about what happens to those chemicals when they don't get expressed, right? So for example, like back in the day, when we were, as I've said before, living in caves, and we actually had like a threat right there, a real threat right there that we needed to respond to, then adrenaline would kick in and we'd either run or we'd fight or we'd hide or whatever it is that we needed to do in that moment in time until the threat had passed. And then the chemicals would go again. And I think that nowadays it's really difficult to dispel and to excrete those chemicals out of our body because there's no task to perform that comes to its natural ending, that comes to its natural fruition for our chemicals to be released from our body. And I think about what it means when my body relaxes down and how that kind of allows those chemicals to flow. And it kind of reminds me of like that adage where people say, if you're standing in the cold, that what you should do, instead of that kind of tendency that everybody has to sort of tense their body up because they're cold, that actually what you should do is you should relax your body down, because when you relax your body down, it allows your blood to flow through your body, which allows your body to heat, right? And it's completely counterintuitive, but I feel like it's the same thing that's happening in meditation. So anyway, I was sitting in meditation the other day, and I was doing this, right? And observer Fran popped into the side of my head and was just like, fuck me. Your face is super fucking contorted. Look at it, right? Because as I was relaxing down and as these chemicals were coming out of my body, what was happening is the shape of my face and the shape of my body was changing, and it was contorting, and my whole mouth was kind of like, and I kind of looked a little bit like Edvard Munch's The Scream. And I remember just looking at myself from outside of myself being like, fucking hell, that's pretty contorted there, Fran. You've contorted your body into a crazy fucking shape. But what that led me on to think about was actually, is that not just what my face needed to look like? Is that contortion a contortion at all? Or is that actually what my body and what my faces need to do, what my face needed to do? I don't have many faces, just one. What it needed to do in order to release those emotions. And it got me to thinking about whether or not this is contortion, or if the face that we put on a day-to-day basis is the contortion. Is that the mask? Is that the screaming face? But it's like that normal face, that normal demeanor is actually our body contorting itself in order to, I don't know, like to conform to what society says is okay, says is normal, says is acceptable, you know? Do we have like this conditioned belief that we need to contort ourselves into something that is acceptable by society? And it kind of makes me think about, like, I don't know, it's like, how many times as a child were you told, don't do that, stop crying, behave yourself, like, don't pull that face, you know, to stop it, to behave? How many times were we told that as a child? And it makes me think about, like, that 2-year-old. And people always say that 2-year-olds are mercurial, right? Oh, their emotions are just up and down and they're all over the place, and they're just 2, you know, they're doing what they're doing. And it's like, it's really true, because a 2-year-old will come up against an issue, will have a natural reaction to that issue. So that 2-year-old's going to be walking around the supermarket, right? And see something that they want and they'll be told no. And that 2-year-old immediately is going to fall to the floor and start crying and kick their legs up and down and have a tantrum and whatever else. And then within a minute, 2 minutes, 5, if it's a really bad one, they'll be back up and they'll be like, oh, butterfly. And off they go, chasing the butterfly. And I feel like as we've grown, as we hit a certain age, we're told that that is no longer an acceptable way to behave. And we're told that we have to change our demeanor and change our external presentation so that we don't upset or irritate or trigger the world around us. And I think about the shapes that my body and that my face change into once I have allowed those chemicals to come through. And I wonder actually if that's not just them being expelled from my body, because it's something that we don't allow ourselves to do on a day-to-day basis. And I wonder if there is a way that we as a society can kind of buck those social norms. We can buck that kind of toxic positivity and all that kind of superficial, surface level self-help, and really embrace actually what is going on in our body at any one given time. Really embrace the chemical reaction that we're having and allow it to flow through our body freely and allow it to come out so that it's not sitting there dormant. Because what happens when chemicals sit there dormant in our body? Oh, man, all sorts of stuff. But essentially, I think personally that it causes so many autoimmune diseases. I feel like it's one of the root causes of cancer. I think that it makes us ill in our mind and in our body and in our hearts. So maybe let's try to relax down a little bit and let our body do what it needs to do, because really it knows what it's doing, right? And maybe the next time you're standing in the wind, the next time you're feeling a little bit cold and you go to tense your body up because you think that that's going to be the thing that protects you, maybe think about this. Think about doing what does not seem natural, what seems counterintuitive, and relax your body down. And maybe, just maybe, that will be the trigger for you to remember that there's some other ways that you're tense that maybe we don't notice because we've all just been told that it's normal. Yeah, okay, that's it. Something that I'm grateful for off the back of that. You know what? I think honestly that I am grateful for my body being the alchemist that it is, being the old wise woman living on the edge of the tribal forest that we consult when we need some wisdom. That really is what my body is. And I'm really grateful actually that no matter how much I contort it and no matter how much I tell it that it's not okay to behave this way, that it's not okay to make that face, that it's not okay to have that response to something, that no matter how much I do that, that it patiently waits for me to be ready to let it go. That's fucking amazing as far as I'm concerned. That's fucking amazing because I haven't asked it to. I don't know how it's doing it, and I don't know that I deserve it, but it's there every single time. It's giving me the opportunity, giving me the chance to do what I need to do and to follow in its wisdom. So grateful for the body. Okay, that's it.
So have you ever caught yourself wearing a face that wasn't really yours? When did you learn to wear it? Let me know in the comments. And if this resonated, hit like and share it with someone who's ready to drop that mask too.